Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Grandy, and today we're going to be talking about measuring inches. In our last lesson, we talked about the word estimate. And whenever we estimated inches, we guessed. We did not actually use a ruler to measure something. Okay, today we're going to learn how to use a ruler and measure things according to inches. Now, in the last lesson, we used a paper clip. And the paper clip is about an inch long. That is what we estimated. Now today, let's use our ruler. And this ruler has all the numbers right at the top. These are inches at the top, okay? So you can see the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on up to 12. Because let's remember, 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So if I take my paper clip, I'm going to get a little bit closer here today so that we can see this a little bit better. Okay, here's 1 inch. From the end of the ruler to the number 1 is 1 inch. If we put our paper clip right there, it's at the end, and then it goes to here. If we were to draw a line as to where this ends, as you can see, it's right by the number 1. So this paper clip is in fact 1 inch long. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some other items. Let's measure them, okay? Mrs. Grandy loves to use markers, right? So let's take a look at it first. How many inches do you think this marker is? 5? 6? That can be our estimate. But today, we're going to use our ruler. Now, let's not forget, you have to put it at the very end of the ruler. Line it right up, okay? And then we're going to go to the tip. We have to go to the furthest part, okay? So from there to here, the end of the ruler, okay? That's how big our marker is. So that's about, it is 5 inches. These markers are 5 inches long. So no matter which one I'd get, they'd all be the same length. They're both 5 inches long, okay? Now let's take a look at the anchor chart that we used in the last lesson. And we're going to look to see what things are about an inch. Okay, we're going to see what things are about an inch. Again, these are just, estimates. These are all just estimates. One of the things we learned about was your knuckle. The top part of your knuckle is about an inch. Okay. We also learned that we keep using the paper clip. The paper clip is also about an inch. So let's take a look here at this anchor chart. Okay, you can see the anchor chart. And again, it's a whistle, is about an inch. The paper clip, we know isn't about an inch. It actually is because we measured that. We know for sure that this paper clip is an inch. Top of your knuckle and a snap cube. Okay. So the snap cubes that we use in school whenever we link them together, those are an inch. Okay. Now let's take a look at another ruler. And another worksheet that we're going to look at. And we're going to look at this pencil. Okay. There's going to be a pencil that we're going to take a look at here. Okay. This says think and measure. We can cut out this ruler Or I like to use a more sturdy ruler, okay? As I'm measuring, I will zoom in so you all can see the numbers a little bit better. And the way we're going to measure this, what we're going to put here, we're going to write the word inches, okay? We are measuring this pencil in inches. Now, before we do anything, let's take a guess again. Estimate, we're back at the word estimate. We need to guess. What do you think the length of this pencil is from here? We have to go the whole way to the tip. So from there to there, end to end. How many inches do we think it is? If I were to give a guess, let me say 7 inches. That is our estimate. Now, what we need to do is take our ruler and measure it from this line to this line, because we need to go from the eraser to the tip. So here we go. Let's take a look a little bit closer. And what do you see? It's very, very, very close, almost exactly 5 inches. So I was off. Mrs. Grandy's estimate was over. I overestimated. I said 7 inches. I guess that would have been a pretty big pencil because that would have gone the whole way over to here. That would have been a very big pencil. But now we know using our ruler that it is 5 inches. So I measured the length of the pencil, which is 5 inches. Now, inside of where I wrote the word inches, this is a piece of chalk. Okay. Chalk is what you use to write on a chalkboard with, right? Now, we know that this piece of chalk is smaller than this pencil. I know that. We know that the pencil is 5 inches long. So now we can make a better estimate as to how big that piece of chalk is. Let's estimate that. Let Mrs. Grandy take a guess, and Mrs. Grandy will say, all right, I'm guessing that it's 3 inches. Now, again, we have to get out our ruler, put it at the very end. Remember, why don't we just draw our lines again, just so we know for sure. Here to here. And let's take a look real close, nice and close. It is, in fact, 3 inches. Okay? So when we measure that and put our answer here, we're going to write 3 inches. Because it was, in fact, 3 inches. Let's take a look. Which object is longer? We all know by looking at that, if the pencil's 5 inches and the chalk is 3 inches, we know that 5 is bigger than 3. So the pencil is longer. Now, if we were to add the length of these two, and we would put them side by side, line them up side by side. This one is 5 inches. This is 3 inches. We have to do 5 plus 3, which equals 8 inches. There is a ruler right here at the bottom of the paper that is 6 inches. So that's half of the size of the ruler that I've been using in this lesson. Let's do a little bit more practice here. then we're going to measure these items, okay? We have a plant, we have a tie, we have a sand or an egg timer, and we have a toothbrush. Again, we have a ruler at the bottom of the page if we would like to cut that out. But I'm going to use my regular ruler here, okay? So they've already done number 1 for us, and they said that it's 2 inches. Let's double check to make sure that they're right. And they are, in fact, correct. It is definitely 2 inches. Now we have the necktie. They measured the length, so how long it is once you put it on your neck, down to the bottom. And they have their nice line drawn for us. One inch, 2 inch. What do we have here? 3 inches. Now let's look at the egg timer or the sand timer, however you'd like, whatever you'd like to call it. I call it an egg timer. Now we're measuring it from side to side, not up and down. This one from end to end goes right to there, which is how much? It's 1 inch. Now, we have our handy dandy toothbrush. We are measuring how long the toothbrush is. We're going to put our ruler at the end. Go to here. Draw our line. And that's at the number 4. So the toothbrush is 4 inches. All right. So in today's lesson, we have learned about measuring inches. All right. Learned about measuring inches today. Remember that if we're looking to try to find something that's an inch, we can use a standard sized paper clip. That is about an inch. We measured it. We know for sure that this paper clip is actually an inch. Then we learned how to use a ruler. Every number is an inch. A ruler goes up to 12 inches. We also know that whenever we measure something, we have to put it at the very end of the ruler. And then we draw a line at the end of whatever it is that we're measuring. We know that Mrs. Grandy's markers are 5 inches. So inches is the first unit of measure that we use whenever we're using our rulers. In the next lesson, we'll be talking about feet. So we'll be using our rulers, but one whole ruler is a foot.